Everyone, we are down here on the trading floor of the New York Stock Exchange. You saw the opening bell earlier, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Wedbush opening the equity markets to celebrate the Dan Ives Wedbush AI Revolution ETF. Well, joining me now with more, Dan Ives, he's Managing Director and Global Head of Technology Research at Wedbush Securities, and Cullen Rogers, CIO of Wedbush Fund Advisors and Portfolio Manager of the Ives ETF. Gentlemen, welcome.
Great to be here.
Yeah, great to have you indeed. Let's talk about AI. Dan, what is in focus for AI right now?
I mean, I think we just came back from CES, physical AI in terms of autonomous robotics. I think that's front and center. Look, this AI revolution, it's just the next stage of growth. It speaks to everything we're doing with the ETF, who the winners are. And as we've said, this is third inning, one out in terms of where we are in the 9-inning game.
So we still have more to go in the cycle. How long is it going to take to get to the 9th inning?
I mean, I believe we have a bull market in the next 2 years. We've talked about 10:30 p.m. and that party that goes to 4 a.m. And I think what we're seeing now is that the next stage of AI monetization is playing out. You know, we've seen it in Asia, demand the supply for NVIDIA chips 12-1. And anyone that came out of CES, hearing the godfather of AI, Jensen, NVIDIA, it just shows we are still in the early days, and that's what we're so exciting about, you know, in terms of everything that we're seeing on AI.
I want to talk to you, Cullen, here as portfolio manager of this particular fund. What makes it stand out in the space?
I think when you look at this guy right here, there's nobody better in the world as a tech analyst, and we've constructed this product to be basically an investable vehicle of his research, and I think that's the big differentiating factor. You have other ETFs that are using stale classification schemes, and then you've got Dan that's setting the bar, and I think that's what really sets it apart. This space is moving so fast that you really have to have a finger to the pulse, and nobody has a better finger to the pulse than Dan Ives.
Yeah. What is the use case for this fund?
I think when investors sit back and look at what's going on in the economy, the incredible CapEx that we're seeing that Dan talks about all the time, you have to think about AI. It's the tip of the spear of the tech movement, and tech is the tip of the spear of the economy. So I think when you think about constructing portfolios, you have to be thinking about how to embed AI in your portfolio judiciously. I don't think you can get out over your skis, but I think everybody needs to think about some exposure to AI, and I think we've constructed the best vehicle to do that because it's broad ecosystem access.
Dan, you're no stranger to Wall Street. Everyone knows you, frequent guest on CNBC, of course, and a community that just embraces you when you come down here. What does it mean to be up there ringing the opening bell?
Look, I mean, my whole career has been spent here at the New York Stock Exchange, and I think the history, it's really the center of capitalism, and that's why for me to ring the Ives, you know, and the AI revolution, all the success, and ring the bell, it's a historic moment, not just, you know, to be here, but to me, it really represents everything that I sort of view that where the market's going, AI, the excitement, and to be here with colleagues, because it's not just me. It doesn't happen without Cullen, without the Wedbush team.
Yeah. Cullen, I want to go to you now. What else is in store for Wedbush funds this year in 2026?
Well, it's been an incredible start. You know, we started this 1 year ago, and our first fund has been such a huge success, so it really sets the table for us. We've got a lot in the pipeline. We're going to have multiple fund launches in the next 3 or 4 months. There will be more Ives-related products coming out. We're still in the quiet period, so I can't get into extreme detail, but we've got really cool products coming out. The whole point of what we're trying to do is launch differentiated products. We don't want to do the same thing. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. We want to come at it from unique positions and unique views on the market so that investors get more arrows in their quiver to use in client portfolios, and that's what we're going to try to do, and that's what we're going to do this year.
Dan, is more swag in the pipeline for 2026? I'm taking a look at this nice pink hat with the Ives ETF name on there.
Yeah, I have my collab with Snow Milk in Brooklyn. You know, we have our shirts, danivesclothing.com. We're coming out with a Dan Ives Clothing sports jacket. Look out for that in the next month. Look, it's all just about, it's not just having fun, but it's something where I'm excited to just bring a little color into Wall Street. My goal is when we're here for our next fund launch, that this guy Cullen will be wearing a pink jacket.
Cullen, are you on board with that?
It's very hard to compete with this guy, but if we do it again, I'll wear a pink jacket.
Yeah.
Cullen Rogers in pink down here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange alongside Dan Ives. I like that very much. Earnings season, Dan, is going to kick off soon, within about a week or so. The banks are always first to report, but when these technology names report, what are you going to be watching from them as it relates to AI?
I think it's about CapEx. I mean, we think we're going to have 550, 600 billion of CapEx from big tech. And that's why we're going to have a tech earnings season that I think continues to wow. I think Street's underestimating growth 10 to 15% this year. It speaks to our view. You get the popcorn out, the AI revolution is just starting.
And how often are you making changes to the holdings of this portfolio, Cullen?
Well, so the portfolio is very unique. It's based off of the research of Dan Ives. So when Dan changes his AI 30 research report, the portfolio changes. And I think that's maybe the most unique element of this index-based product is that when pivots, when seismic changes happen in AI, nobody's better than Dan Ives at identifying those, enveloping them in the index, and then the portfolio changes are made immediately. So it changes as needed based on how Dan sees the market.
Very dynamic, as always. We would expect nothing less. Dan Ives with Wedbush Securities, Cullen Rogers with Wedbush Funds. Gentlemen, thanks again and congratulations.
Thank you very much.